Hi, we are Com group number 5, Rachel Strong, Brandon Hicks, Ashley Miller, Dre Wright, and Catherine Haynes, and we're here to give you a small informative speech on sleep deprivation. So, running, biking, hiking, and swimming are all good for our health and the wellness of our bodies. Staying active and fit increases our energy and makes us feel good all day long. But what if I told you that sleep should also be a competitive sport? Sleep deprivation is a major health epidemic across America, and it has a lot of effects that you might not know about. In today's fast-paced society, we often brag about how little we sleep. But why? When we don't sleep, our bodies don't have the time to restore, rejuvenate, and be ready again for whatever's ahead. Sleeping should be given the same amount of rigor as athletes give to training. In order to best protect and nourish our bodies, we need to first understand what sleep is, why some people don't get enough sleep, what the short and long-term health effects of sleep deprivation are, and some tips on how to get enough sleep. So first, what is sleep? Sleep consists of 5 stages, each of which contributes a vital role to the restoration of your body. The first stage only lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. Your eyes are shut, but you're easily awoken. The second stage is the onset of sleep. This is when your body temperature drops, your heart rate slows, and so does your neuron activity. Sometimes your muscles will twitch a little during this time as they slowly relax and release tension. The third and fourth stages are the most vital for your body's restoration. These are when your body goes into a deep, deep sleep. Your muscle tissues are repaired, hormones are released, your energy is restored, and your brain flushes out unnecessary information to restore its cognitive function. Stage 5 is the rapid eye movement phase. It lasts about 10 minutes for the first time and increases in length as the cycles go on throughout the night. Your body becomes paralyzed during this phase because your brain activity is really high and you're dreaming, and this way you can't get up and run around. This cycle happens around 5 times during the average 7.5 hour resting time for adults. However, only about 40% of American adults get 6 or fewer hours of sleep per night. Since we know that sleep is complex and necessary for our bodies, we can now go to Catherine, who's here to tell us reasons why some people don't get sleep.
Not getting enough sleep is unfortunately a common reality for most adults today. We are prone to the demands of our rigorous work or school schedules, and subsequently, we let our sleep patterns fall behind. Specific reasons for lack of sleep include various health issues, prolonged use of technology, and our own eating habits. Sleep is a necessity to life, but many people tend to brush off as something they can do without. Unfortunately, serious health issues can occur if sleeping becomes an afterthought rather than a priority. The first point to look at on my first slide is overeating or malnutrition. This is a big factor for sleep. If you're stuffed to the brim at bedtime, your stomach needs time to settle and process the food that you've been eating. Your mind has been activated by stimulating nutrients, and going right to sleep may be an issue. The theory of bedtime snacks are really misleading because it could actually turn out making you more prone to stay awake. People who eat too little may also toss and turn in bed because of hunger. A balanced diet is the most ideal in getting the accurate amount of sleep. Technology risks include cell phone or TV use at night, as well as the inability to separate work from home. In the first photo on this slide, all the way to the left, you see a guy who's kind of dozing off to the TV. And what people don't really realize is that TV addiction can become a reality. A lot of teenagers fall subsequent to video game addiction. And one recommendation that I might have for children growing up is maybe not keeping the gaming consoles in the bedroom, as to differentiate between a time to relax and a time to play. Most common for adults where technology becomes an issue could be not being able to separate your work life from home. You might be constantly on your computer checking work emails or doing other things that would keep your mind preoccupied and not be able to relax. On the top right of this slide, there's a picture of a man holding a beer bottle. Drug consumption can cause lack of sleep. These are both depressants and stimulants, so your mind would be otherwise cluttered and wouldn't be able to rest. On the next slide, I talk a little bit about health concerns. Anxiety is the most common issue in adults. It can come from forms of being overwhelmed or even just the general ability to work out something. It can cause the inability to sleep or even the inability to stay asleep once you wake up during the night. In the last photo on this slide, all the way to the right, there's a guy with like things, scribbles coming out of his head. It just kind of resembles anxiety as a whole and that whole chaotic clutter mess in your mind. Insomnia is the most medically noted health disorder regarding sleep. It's the actual disorder and diagnosis of not being able to go to sleep or to stay still asleep. And this also goes hand in hand with anxiety. Respiratory problems are other medical issues that could prevent sleep at night. This includes asthma or snoring issues. I personally had to get my tonsils taken out because they were affecting my breathing patterns while sleeping. Medications are finally a common cause of lack of sleep. They can keep you up at night and overstimulate you just like drugs and alcohol. So since we understand a little bit about the causes of sleep deprivation, we can better understand the short and long-term health issues that arise when we deprive our bodies of it. Here to talk about this now is Jeray about the short-term health effects of sleep deprivation.
Thank you, Catherine. So recently, the Sleep Foundation has provided a sleep chart that shows the recommended amount of sleep that each individual should receive. Now, for a healthy adult, the recommended amount of sleep is 7 to 9 hours. Granted, it's easy to maintain at 6 hours, but there causes the long-term effects of sleep deprivation that will usually take place. For people that sleep less than that, have a greater chance of developing all of the causes, and the lack of adequate sleep can affect judgment, mood, and ability to learn and retain information, and may increase the risk of serious accidents and injury to self as well as others. Sleep deprivation can cause some serious short-term effects that can alter one's life, and getting adequate sleep is very important in leading a healthy lifestyle. Sleep is a major occurrence that resets the body for the next day, and without that, there are many short-term effects that can occur if sleep is not a major component in your life. On my first slide, you will see a photo of anxiety, drowsiness, as well as paying attention. For anxiety, constant emotion or fear or being worried about everyday life and your surroundings. It makes you live a little bit on the edge. For drowsiness, it becomes very dangerous for you while you're on the road. It makes it hard to pay attention to your surroundings as well as those that are around you, which can cause major bodily injuries. Decreased performance and alertness. Not able to pay attention to the work at hand, and not able to respond appropriately. There could be a delay in reaction to certain situations that require you to think quick on your feet, and with the lack of sleep, it's not possible to do so. Getting sleep deprivation, which will be on my second slide, it can cause stress in your relationship. The ability to keep a relationship together is affected with constant distractions. When one is asleep, we all know there can be things that are said that you don't mean. But when you don't think about those type of things, it can hurt you in the long run. Temporary and long-term health issues are a big concern when you do not get the recommended amount of sleep. With those comes diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, which are common risk factors related to the lack of sleep, which will be discussed further with Ashley. Sleep deprivation can be caused by numerous things, such as stress, medical or mental issues, and/or a sleeping disorder. I have explained the short-term effects of sleep deprivation. Next, Ashley will discuss the long-term effects that are associated with sleep deprivation.
Thanks, Jure. As previously mentioned, many people suffer from poor sleep. But did you know it's as many as 1 in 3 people? That's at least one person in your group. Is it you? Everyone knows college students have late nights, early mornings, and survive strictly off of coffee and power naps. Sorry. Sorry, I completely lost track. One second. But do you know just what the long causes harm of long sleep deprivation is? Obesity. Sleep-deprived people have decreased levels of leptin, which is the chemical that makes you feel full. So are you hungry or just tired? Heart disease and high blood pressure. Long-standing sleep deprivation is associated with increased heart rate and blood pressure and higher levels of chemicals linked to inflammation. Diabetes. Missing out on sleep may lead to type 2 diabetes because it changes the way your body processes glucose. It can lower your sex drive, lowers testosterone in men, and can cause difficulty conceiving because not getting enough sleep reduces your production of reproductive hormones. Mood disorders. Chronic insomnia makes you 5 times more likely to develop depression and 20 times more likely to develop a panic disorder, such as anxiety. Memory loss. According to a study done by the University of California, Berkeley, researchers have found that memories may be getting stuck in the hippocampus, which is the part of the brain involved in memory forming, organizing, and storing due to poor quality of deep sleep. It can also cause brain deterioration, which may help explain memory loss in the elderly. And lastly, it can shorten your life expectancy because sleep boosts your immunity. Severe sleep loss can put you at risk for developing an immune system impairment. Also, a study in the Sleep Journal found men who get less than 6 hours of sleep are 4 times more likely to die over a period of 14 years. Several nights of too little sleep can lead to more than 700 genetic changes that could significantly affect your health. Now that we've explained some causes of bad sleeping habits and the effects of short-term and long-term sleep loss, Brandon is now going to give you some great tips to help you sleep through the night.
Sleeping habit can be difficult, but there are definitely a few options to help you ease into a restful slumber. The first option that I have is melatonin. If Rachel, you'll go to the next slide. Melatonin is a supplement that is available over the counter in the United States. It comes in different categories from 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams, up to 10 milligrams. I recommend taking 5 milligrams. Now, I'm no doctor, but that's what I've taken before, and it's worked for me. A pro with melatonin is that it is all natural. It is available easily over the counter, and it does work within an hour. The effects of melatonin only last for an hour, so make sure you take it right before you go to bed. Melatonin can definitely help you ease into a restful slumber just by relaxing you and getting you in the right mindset to take a great nap. Now, a con of melatonin is the fact that in other countries it is not available over the counter. You do have to have a prescription for melatonin in some foreign countries, which is a little bit scary to me. Also, melatonin activates your skin's melanocytes, which are the cells that produce pigment. So if you are worried about age spots or worried about any marks on your hands and your skin, you don't want to take too much melatonin in a row. You want to stick with taking 1 or 2 every once in a while if you need help sleeping. The second option that I have for you is called night shift mode on your cell phone. Now, night shift mode is for iOS, and Rachel, if you'll go to the next slide, I have a brief demonstration here for you. You can access night shift mode by going into the settings on your iPhone, clicking on display and brightness, and then night shift. You can set it to go from sunrise or sunset to sunrise, and what night shift does is it warms the colors on your phone so that they're easier on your eyes in the dark. A lot of people like to go to sleep at night reading their news or reading Facebook, and the best way to do it is in night shift mode because it's so much easier on your eyes and it will help you drift into a great sleep. Another tip is counting sheep. Now, I know you've heard about this before, but give it a try. Counting sheep can definitely get you asleep very quickly. Counting sheep is very easy to do. Just lay in bed and close your eyes and imagine those sheep jumping right over your head until you count up so high that you drift into a slumber. Now, in conclusion, we've given you a lot of information today. You understand a little bit more about the sleep cycle, the short-term and long-term effects of sleep deprivation, and hopefully you can follow our tips to get a more restful sleep. It's been our pleasure presenting to you today, and we hope that you've learned from us. Have a wonderful day.